Global, JP, it's time to come together and take down Super Battle Road. What's going on, everyone? Talon back here, and today it is time to start looking at how to build some teams for Super Battle Road Global. This is for you guys that's gonna be coming soon, and for JP if maybe you've just started the game late and you're starting to finally get a team that can maybe take it on, or if there's a particular team that maybe you just can't seem to take down so much. You know, this is for everyone. This is for everyone. It's the same game in the end. I don't care what anyone says. This is the same game for both Global and JP. Let's get into it now. First things first, I will say before going over each team, I've got 5 tabs open, as you can clearly see on the little battle, team builder thing here for DBZ Space. The one thing I will say though, real quick, is that most of these cards, both Global and JP have. If there's a card on here that Global does not have, you will have it soon enough. Okay. I'm not going to take those into account just yet. I'm going to go over the generalization of each team from back when JP originally got this and when Global's about to get this right now. And then also throw in kind of some, well, by the way, if you do happen to have this as well, or if you don't have this, this is a good side option right there. So make sure you go ahead and do that. Now, granted, I'm not going to be able to go over every single card. This is not going to be like the best team to take it on personally. It's just going to be what I have felt and what I have used myself in order to take these events down, because I've been able to take down all the super events. By the way, when I say using or taking down all the super events, I mean using a super team, because I know I'm going to get that confused and everything. So if I say I am taking down all of the super events, then I am using a super team. If I can take down all the extreme events, then I'm using an extreme team. Okay, I know it technically should be the opposite way, but I just happen to say that for some reason. So you know what? That's how it's gonna go. Okay. So anyway, so I've taken down 9 of the 10 Super Battle Road stages. One of them that I have not taken down, obviously, is the Extreme Tech team, but that will be for another date, okay? The extreme team build will be probably either tomorrow or the day after that, okay? So anyways, these are all the super guys. There's going to be cards that I missed. There's going to be cards that maybe you have better potential system buffs into compared to someone that I say that you should bring over that person. And if that works for you, then great. Take that person and bring them instead, and you probably have a better chance of doing that, okay? This is not meant to be, if you don't take my team, you're not beating this. That's not how it's supposed to go. This is to help you try to get started and see where my thought process is coming from when taking on this event, because this is not just simply go and beat them, okay? There's gonna be some cards in here as well that you're gonna be like, why aren't you taking this? It's to be like, well, actually, it's because of this, actually. And so, again, this is just based on my personal experiences when it comes to taking these events down. Again, check out my videos in my Super Battle Road playlist. You can go and check out all of those to let you see exactly how I was able to beat those. Let's get straight into this, okay? By the way, because I'm using my second monitor, I will be looking to the side every now and then, so I'm sorry if my voice sounds, again, a little groggy and everything. Still trying to get recovery from health or being sick and everything, but let's get right into this. So first off, we're going to start with Super Agility, and as you can see, I've tried to break it down into 3 sections, okay? I've got kind of and again, these will mix depending on what the unit does particularly, and you're going to see that right away here, no problem, okay? But in the top left corner is going to be kind of like your hard hitters. Your top right or kind of like center top right is going to be all your support units. And then kind of the bottomish rightish corner is going to be kind of like your defenders, your blockers, and kind of your like other category stuff, okay? First off, let's go over the heavy hitters, okay? First off, no question by any means, the best leader you want to bring for a Super Agility team is going to be Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta. No question about it, right? We don't have to deal with bringing extreme types, so you don't need to worry about bringing LR Goten and Trunks. You're not going to need to be bringing somebody who gives it to everyone. You want to give him the biggest boost possible to somebody who is on the Agility team, and that is, of course, the Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, okay? No question about it. He's your leader, okay? Other hard hitters to bring in automatically, no problem, that I think are definitely staples when it comes to taking this thing down. Super Vegito. Agility Super Vegito is a must on this. You do not have this guy. I'm not going to say it's impossible. I'm going to say it's extremely hard, okay? Super Agility is definitely one of the harder, tougher ones because we just haven't had a really good Agility Dokkan Fest unit in so long, so it's kind of unfortunate, actually. This will probably be one of the hardest ones you will struggle with. Of course, depending on what your team is. If you maybe have everyone rainbowed on your Super Agility team, you actually might be okay. But I'm just saying, Super Vegito is definitely someone you want to bring, okay? Next is going to be this Super Saiyan God Goku here. He hits really hard. Obviously, when you Dokkan Awaken him, it's attack up 100% when he super attacks. Can deal some really good damage if you got some pass open on him. Definitely someone right there. Or if you don't have him and you got the Kaioken version of him instead, just be careful because he does lower your HP. The more HP you have, obviously, the more you're going to lose. But again, he's someone to bring in there. And I know some people will swear by his defensive boost and everything. I personally haven't tried him out in Super Battle Road, but I'm not sure exactly how well that defensive boost is going to last. just know you got to be a little careful. Don't expect him to tank a lot. The only person on this team that is going to be tanking the most is Super Vegito. Even Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, unless you've got him rainbowed, is going to be taking hits for 25 to 30k sometimes, depending on what depending on how far he is in the ability system. Always keep that in mind. These guys are going to be taking a lot of hits that you never would have expected, and that's just how it's going to be, okay? So anyway, so those are going to be the big hitters. And then obviously LR Goten and Trunks. Now I know Global, you personally, I don't think you have this guy yet. Some people swear by him. I personally didn't need him to take him down. But you definitely got to be careful though, because if you don't get his 18 key super, he's going to hurt you actually, because depending on what form he goes into for one of his two 12 key super attacks, he will either lower his attack or lower his defense. And that can get you killed sometimes. Rhyme Style has plenty of videos showing off that right there. So just keep that in mind real quick. Yeah, again, it all depends on what you see. Global, you don't really have to worry about him right now because you don't have him yet. But if you do get him down the road, or if you're on JP right now, you'd have him. Keep that in mind. You got to be careful when doing that, okay? Now, one thing I'm going to say about the support units, because you're probably noticing that I don't actually have every single support unit on here, number one. But number two, I'm missing a lot of actually really good support units. But there's a reason I don't have them on here. It's because they don't give defensive boosts, okay? One thing you've got to realize when taking on this event is that if you have somebody that can be a hard hitter in the first slot, say your second slot is someone who is maybe lowering attack or something like that, or providing a defensive and attackive boost at the same time, and then the third slot is maybe lowering the attack automatically by being there, or again, another supportive unit depending on your rotation that you might happen to have that turn, that can mean the difference between your character taking 20k to 40k sometimes. And I'm not joking there sometimes. Depending on what your ability system buffs again are, it can mean a huge difference sometimes. It actually does make a huge, again, you're gonna hear me say huge difference a lot, but this, I'm telling you guys right now, this will make it night and day difference sometimes, okay? So the supportive units I went with are the SSJ2 Gohan, because he gives attack and defensive boosts, so that's really nice. The Whis here, everyone should have this Whis. He is in game. You bring this Whis. You do not bring this Whis, you will die. Unless you have everyone rainbowed, essentially. But I'm just saying, bring this Whis because he heals you up once per battle if your HP is 30% or below. And believe me, you will hit that 30% below quite often in this mode. So make sure you have this Whis in there as well. Another good backup defense unit is this Super Vegeta Global. You don't have him just yet, his Awakening, at least to my knowledge. But JP, this is one that you can have. It's just attack and defense up. And a key +2, obviously. So again, he's kind of that replacement for the SSJ2 Gohan. In terms of which one's better, I'm not really sure. I guess just go off whichever one you have more orbs into, I guess. Another good support unit, do not look down on this guy, Great Saiyaman. He gives +2 key, and then he has a super high chance to give attack and defense boost up by 30%. That super high chance with the defensive boost sometimes doesn't always activate, but at the same time, it can be a lifesaver. If you've seen me doing some videos where I've taken like the Nappa, which is on the extreme physical team, or bringing the Master Roshi on a strength team and things like that, those help a lot, especially if you don't have things like Kaba and everything, or whoever happens to be the 40% units for those mono teams. And then, of course, Pan is going to be the best one because she provides that 40% defense and attack right there. So again, really, really I know I'm saying, a big part on the defensive boost there, but I'm telling you guys again, it makes the match that much easier for you. If you don't have them, of course, bringing other support units is not bad. If you need to try to somewhat power through these and give them a little bit of extra attack or a little bit of extra key, that is perfectly fine too. But I am saying, if you have the choice between someone who only gives attack compared to someone who gives an attack and defensive boost, go to defensive boost all the time, no matter what. Surviving longer will be nice, and it's going to make a huge difference when you get hit. So, and then obviously the last kind of three are more of your defensive guys / maybe little gimmicks and stuff like that. Both the Vegetas here, they both get an 80% in the defense, and then obviously the Super Saiyan 2 Vegeta gets it in the 90%. So they are really good in terms of at least being able to take somewhat of a hit. Taking something like if you took the Super Saiyan Blue Goku here compared to the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta, unless the Goku is rainbowed and the Vegeta here has absolutely no paths open or no orbs into him at all, he is going to take less damage compared to the Goku because of the defensive boost. Of course, you have to get the super attack off on him, but the nice thing about this SSJ2 Vegeta here is that he does get it just by being 80% or lower. That is pretty nice right there, okay? So do keep that in mind. And then obviously one that is kind of a wild card, I'm not gonna lie, is Khalifa here. And the reason she's a wild card is because she can dodge a lot of attacks, But the problem is that I know they're not going to say it. It's not going to say this or anything, but I swear, and everyone else swears by it as well here on JP, that when you take that your chances of certain things happening, like dodging or countering or anything like that, I swear the percents are down in this game mode. I would not be surprised if we were able to see that and be like, oh, the chances of her dodging actually are pretty low. There will be times where you might put her, into a huge cluster of people that are attacking, and you're like, oh, she's going to dodge it all. She gets hit by every single one. Not even joking on that half the time. So just keep that in mind when bringing her, that maybe if you've given her some dodge, that might help as well. She's definitely someone to, I would say, put on the back burner. But again, it's kind of hard to say. Again, a lot of this is going to come down to luck, and yeah, you're going to have to see just exactly what you can do there. So, but basically, if you can somehow form a team with these type of units right here, again, this will be really well. Some other kind of side ones that some people might be thinking of maybe is like the LRTN. LRs don't exactly tank as well as they usually do, and LRTN is pretty new to even JP. I know Global doesn't have them just yet. So I haven't really tested them out yet. I personally wouldn't, to be honest here, but I mean, it all depends on that. Beers here, he only gets a 90% attack increase in the attack, so he's not bad for another hard hitter if you wanted to keep him as kind of like a side unit. However, I just don't know how hard and good he is on this particular event. Now, a lot of people are also probably asking me, why am I not including the grade 8 mechanics? And the reason for this is because that chance of turning grade 8 is a little too random for my liking. If maybe there was some kind of overhaul to the mechanic of the grade 8s and everything like that, then maybe I would say, okay, yes, go for it. But in terms of just how rare and how random it can be, I wouldn't try relying on it. Again, if it's your 6th spot though, and maybe you have to get that one last character in there and you just don't have anyone else, by all means, go ahead and try it. Again, experiment, try things out in this mode. But again, that's kind of just how I would go about it. So again, these are the characters that I think are the, easily can survive in this game mode, and again, build it upon whatever characters you personally have. If you have absolutely nobody in this category of these characters that I am showing off to the screen right now, yeah, might not be ready for this game mode. Just a hard truth right there. I'm just not gonna say. So yeah. Anyway, so that's about it for agility. Okay, again, build it along attackers, supports, and then blockers. Okay, or defenders essentially. Okay. Next, I'm gonna be going to super tech. Super tech is another interesting one, and I'm going to say this right now for anyone who's about to ask me in the comments, because they always ask me in my free-to-play guides. This Goku right here, do not bring him. He is a glass cannon. He's a glass cannon. He gets hit once. I don't even care if he's rainbowed. He gets hit once, boom, you're losing probably 70k health. Maybe not that much, but you get the idea, okay? So he is not in here. Get him out of here. Do not put him on your team, okay? Just unfortunately no, okay? And I'm also going to say no with the LR Hercule and everything like that, even though he might get a defensive. No, he does not get a defensive boost. He only gets an attack boost. So again, I would personally say no on that guy. So anyway, leader you're going to be bringing obviously is the SSJ3 Angel Goku. Now, some people do bring the SSJ4 Gogeta as a side note, because what you can do is you can do a double SSJ4 Gogeta, and they still provide a 50% boost to your tech units. Now, that means they will be taking more damage, but you have two guys that can counter. They have a high chance of countering super attacks. Again, it doesn't happen all the time, and I swear it never happens with me half the time, but that is another option right there. But personally for me, I ran double SSJ3 Angel Goku leads. I brought the LR Goku because we had that LR Goku campaign right there. And then obviously, so he's obviously Rainbow. He does get hit decently hard, I think around for 23,000 or so, but it's better than what some others will take. SSJ3 Gotenks is another good one. Unfortunately, with this type of team, you're usually getting his 12 key, but he can still hit for a decent amount. So again, just kind of keep that in mind when it comes to the attackers, that he will probably get his 12 key quite a bit, okay? And then obviously SSJ4 Gogeta is really nice to have there because he's just powerful. He can counter. He has a high chance to counter those incoming super attacks. That is pretty nice right there. And then for JP, obviously global, you'll get him later on, is the Tech Vegito. Now be careful about this guy, because when you're originally using him, he's not gonna have a very high defense. You need to get a few super attacks off and hope that those additionals kick in to get the super attacks, and then you will be able to probably take some decent hits and everything like that. Tech is definitely one of the more vulnerable teams, along with agility, when it comes to taking hits. So definitely be careful when it comes to taking this event on, okay? In terms of other hitters, that's about all I can really think. I would have said like SSJ3 Gotenks right here is another good hitter, but that is exclusive to JP because he's Dragon Ball Heroes category stuff. So you can't really go on global. So JP, if you have him, by all means, go ahead and things like that. Another side unit you could possibly bring is maybe the Pycon for lowering that attack greatly, which is really nice. But again, he doesn't link very well, so if you always put him on the third slot and then you happen to get a super attack onto somebody before they go into the next rotation, that is another good option right there. So again, not everyone there. And then one last person that I know probably people will ask about is also this Beerus, because you can do that whole Fury mode thing. Again, a little too random for my liking when it comes to something like the Great Apes. Again, a little different though compared to the Great Ape mechanic, because again, your HP has to simply be below 30%, and then it can turn and go Fury. But unless your Beerus is really powerful in the ability system, he's not particularly that strong. So again, it all depends on what you personally have. So in terms of support units, Tech has a lot of support units, which is really nice, okay? First off, we're going to go with this Trunks. This Trunks is a rebirth from that really old GT unit that nobody likes at all, but he's actually pretty decent in terms of a replacement, so definitely keep that in mind right there. He has attack and defense up 25% and key +2 to tech and strength. Obviously, this is for the tech team, so that's why right there. Tian being the best of the support units with that 40% boost right there. And Krillin here. You guys know I love my Krillin. To D-Free, hashtag Krillin it. He is a really good, he's just like the Agility Great Saiyaman, where he provides +2 key and then a super high chance of making that defense and attack boost up by 30%, which is pretty nice. Obviously, another really good one here is going to be the Tech Vegito, a huge staple on any tech team. He is really well, gives that 30% attack and defensive boost. Not to mention when he gets a super attack off, he raises the attack by 25% for the next turn. So that's really nice right there. And then I wouldn't exactly call him a support unit, but he does change the orbs, which really helps with the LR Goku sometimes, depending on if you have that chance right there. If you bring LR Goku with you, of course. Not to mention he seals. That's pretty nice. So sealing can be really helpful for some people, and that's always really good right there. In terms of these kind of blockers that you might want to bring, this Trunks is definitely by no means the best, but he can mitigate damage going against these guys. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. If maybe you've pulled this guy and you've got him up to maybe SA10 or something like that, you've got some ability orbs in him, he could probably take a decent hit. I might test him out a little bit myself. Again, that's something you have to discover for yourself. Another good blocker here is the Baba Shop Vegeta. He is 80% up in the defensive boost right there. Do not take this guy, though, if he has no ability system buffs. If you have given him at least a +2000, I think he can take a decent hit. Absolutely nothing, though, I wouldn't suggest bringing him. The only reason I said is that maybe if that's a 6 unit that you need to fill in, boom, this guy can give you that right there, okay? Piccolo here can also mitigate damage to 50% by guarding against agility types. Okay, so that's why I said bringing this guy. Not to mention he supers early at only 8 keys, so that's pretty nice. Not to mention he lowers attack, if I remember correctly. So that is something to keep in mind right there. Again, not the best unit, but again, if you need him, he's in the Baba Shop. Everyone can buy him. Everyone can get him. So that is pretty nice right there. And then obviously the in-game Bulma. Now it's a super high chance that she'll mitigate the damage by 50%. So again, a little bit more random, kind of towards the Khalifa stuff, but at the same time, she is pretty useful. I believe D3 used her in his video, and it worked out pretty well for him, so that's pretty nice right there. And then the staple too that everyone swears by, I personally haven't used them, is this Jacko here, not the Chaozu. I'll get to Chaozu in a second. This Jacko will stun for 1 match at the beginning of the turn. He'll stun everybody, okay? Obviously not you, just the enemies. But he will stun everyone, and that gives you a chance right there, okay? I personally never used them just because I never actually kept them around. But again, everyone swears by him, so go ahead and use him if you happen to hold on to him, or if you summon and you happen to get him, he is a good stunner that you can do, and there's also an int version of him that you can use on a super int team as well. Now, this Chaozu I never really even considered in the first place, but when I went over him, I looked at him and I said, oh, he lowers agility types enemies attack by 25%. Now, if you caught my video yesterday, or if you've seen me post on Twitter or anything like that, guys who lower attack by 25% or 30% or anything like that, just by being there on the field at that moment, are godsends. Put them in the 3rd slot. I don't care where you put them. Keep them on the field, though, because that lowering attack makes a huge difference. And this Chaozu is actually not bad. He is not bad at all. He's basically like the King Cold, in my opinion, when it comes to taking like extreme physical. Obviously, this is on super attack. So that is something to keep in mind right there. He, not a bad unit. I never thought I'd say that about a Chaozu. I curse a Chaozu every single time I see him when I summon. I'm not gonna lie though, the dude's got 25% attack down on agility types. this would be the one moment I would say actually bring him if you need that 6 slot filled. So, other than that though, guys, that's about it for the tech guys. Other than that, again, yeah, tech's a little, they're not very tanky. Gotta be very careful there. So, again, test these guys out, see what you can do, okay? Going on to the third one, we are going to be going into Super Int. Now, Super Int's got a lot of options here that I never even considered myself personally, but I could see it potentially working, maybe if you need again, that 3rd slot. Obviously, the leader you want to be bringing, SSJ Gogeta. No question about it. Don't bring LR Gohan as your leader skill, or as your leader. Bring the Gogeta. Higher ability buffs, the whole 9 yards, okay? One guy that I actually would say that is a huge staple on this team is the SS Blue Vegeta, because he lowers enemy attack and defense by 20% just by being there, okay? It is really nice. He lowering that defense is not really needed, but he lowers the enemy extreme types by 20% on the attack. That, again, makes a huge difference when it comes to that kind of stuff, okay? Trunks is a pretty good hitter if you happen to have him up to SA10, plus he provides orbs. If you happen to have LR Gohan as well, he provides those orbs. Just be careful though, because you are going to be collecting a lot of into orbs that makes your Dokkan meter go up faster, which means you might hit that Dokkan mode at the 3rd stage instead of the 4th stage. Now, sometimes depending on who you're fighting, you actually might want it at the 3rd stage compared to the 4th stage, depending on how many people you're going against. But a lot of us try to get it at that 4th stage. That way you can just finish it off in one swipe and you're done basically, okay? So again, keep that in mind when it comes to that. JP has this, but Global does not yet, obviously, is the SSJ3 Bardock. He provides a nice defensive or attack boost when he is 70% below the HP mark. And not to mention, he is really strong and he seals, which is really nice. And he's a good kind of bridge between the prepare for battle guys and the over it in a flash guys. That right there is really helpful. So again, if Global, you eventually get this, obviously you'll eventually get this guy, take that guy and he'll be really good. JP, if you happen to have him, bring him along as well. He's really helpful. Support units, not as many for the ints, but that does not matter. Obviously, we got the Kid Gohan, best of the support units by far, no matter what. He's the best one. Next is going to be this buff Goku from the World Tournament. Attack and defense up 25%. Again, that 25% in the defensive boost can make a difference sometimes depending on who you are using in combination with him, okay? And then obviously, actually, this Whis is not bad as well. He's attack and defense up 20%, along with game plus 2 ki. Again, defensive boost is really nice, so definitely keep that in mind right there. Some more defensive units are definitely going to be your LR Piccolo. Now, LR Piccolo here, I would say you definitely need some ability buffs in him if you want him taking a decent hit. No ability buffs in LR Piccolo, it'll still take 30k. Yeah, that's just going without any notice. Now, I will say, having him on the field to give that defensive boost to everyone else, and then say have the SSB Vegeta along with Gogeta or something like that, that can let them take less damage, but Piccolo himself will still take some decent damage. So again, maybe if the rotation works out well and LR Piccolo is not going to be taking any damage if you don't have any orbs into him or anything like that, that is something to consider right there. But again, just be careful on that, okay? Some other ones that kind of some side ones if you want to is bringing this Arale. She can for 3 turns make the can bring down the attack, the enemy attack for 3 turns by 15%. Again, not huge or anything, but that 6th slot, if you need it, it can make a little bit of a difference. And then not to mention this Bardock can seal, so he's pretty nice. Plus, he's self-sufficient, so if you don't need to worry about really giving him ki, then that's totally fine too, because he does have prepare for battle and everything like that. Not to mention the rebirth link and everything. So again, sealing those guys up can make a difference sometimes. I wouldn't say he's there to take a hit, but you know, he can seal him up at least. That's pretty nice. And then actually this Goku here isn't too bad if you have him on that, again, that last slot, because he can heal up every turn by 7%. It may not be much, but hey, a little bit of health, it does help sometimes. And then also this I don't even know what is. He's like he's the old Supreme Kai before the Supreme Kai we all know got absorbed by Buu and all that stuff. But basically, this guy right here, for every orb he obtains, your HP goes up by 2,000. He's definitely one of those, like, if you're really desperate for that last 6 slot, I would say go for it. But you know, hey, he could work out. He could work out right there. So, in terms of some other super ints that you could possibly bring, I guess, I've totally forgot to go over this guy as well. And the reason I didn't do this at first is because this Ultra Instinct Goku, he's powerful, he's good. But I know a lot of people rely on him more for his dodging ability when his HP goes below 50%. And that right there is, again, a little risky. It's kind of like, again, the Caulifla and everything, where that dodge ability won't activate that much. So again, be careful if you are trying to rely on that. You know, it's easy to go below that 50%, but again, it only happens once per battle. So again, it will last for like 7 turns or something like that. But if you last longer than that, you might be in a little bit of trouble. So again, keep that in mind when it comes to this Goku here. And yeah, it's kind of hard to say in the end. So moving onto strengths. I know this video is going a little long, guys. I'm sorry. A lot of information when it comes to these teams. Extreme will probably be a little faster. Strength, let's go over them real quick. Ultimate Gohan, Super Saiyan 4 Goku, Trunks, and Gogeta are your main hitters. Not to mention the Gohan there can provide that 50% defensive boost to everyone else on the field at the time. That is really nice. I'm going to say one thing about SSJ4 Goku because I know it's going to happen and everyone's going to be shocked on Global. When you are using this guy, do not let this guy take a hit. I don't care if he's rainbowed. Do not let this guy take a hit until he has had a few supers go off. And because he needs to raise that defense. You let this guy try to take a hit from everybody at the very beginning of the match, he's going to be taking 40K. No problem. I guarantee you it's going to happen. So be careful with Goku here. Let him get some super attacks off, then he'll be fine. Plus, not to mention he can counter. However, it's only a medium chance. It's not a very high chance, so be careful there. And then also, let him get supers off, and then he can somewhat take a hit, okay? Defense, or kind of support units. Master Roshi, Goku, obviously. Goku can't take a hit to save his life, so be careful with him as well. This Kaba, obviously being the best one, and then this Gohan here from the World Tournament. Attack and defense up 25%. Pretty standard for the support units, okay? Some good defensive units as well. This is a staple, I would say, the best of the best. If you don't have them, maybe try to go for them if possible. SSJ3 Vegeta, because will be ending after the 7 turns, and plus he has a high chance of stun, which is pretty nice right there. This Trunks is only available on JP right now, but Global, you'll obviously get him. He is really good. The lower the HP is, the more defense he gets, not to mention every super attack raises his defense. That's pretty nice as well. This Vegeta right here gives you attack and defense up 90%, which is pretty nice. And then obviously the B-Pan can heal you up, which is pretty nice as well. Last is going to be obviously the LR Vegito when he eventually comes. And Super Pycon for JP. If you have him, go ahead and lower that attack, which is pretty nice. Now, real quickly before we go on to the last one, which is physical, one person I forgot to mention real quick is also this Krillin here, because again, he reduces damage by 50%, just like that Piccolo from the Baba Shop as well. This Krillin is really good right here, especially if you throw some ability system buffs into him. He can be really well. Again, he's not meant to be hitting or anything, but he can guard against those guys. I've seen plenty of pictures where people used him to get through Super Battle Road, and boom, they were able to beat it no problem. So by all means, if you happen to have him, he's actually not a bad unit in terms of the guarding. So that is something to keep in mind right there. Last but not least, we are finally at the end of this, guys, is super physical. Yes, of course, the big hitters that you want to be bringing are the the SSJ3 Gotenks, the LR Trunks if you just happen to get him. Of course, not everyone has him, including myself, so I didn't really need him, though. You obviously don't need him. You really don't need him. He's not really needed. Vegito Blue, kind of like the Agility Vegito. He does take a little bit more damage, but if you have him at Rainbowed or at least some decent ability buffs, he can at least take somewhat of a hit, and then obviously he counters and everything. New physical Vegito, he is coming as well. I have him at 90% right now in the ability system, and taking him under a double SSJ3 Gotenks lead. He basically tanks for about 2,000 damage, give or take, and then obviously he counters everything except for super attacks. So again, he's someone to keep in mind right there as well if you have him. If you don't have either of the Vegitos, it's, again, not impossible, but it's very nice to have them to take those hits. So if you need another hard hitter, this Ultimate Gohan here is not technically bad. Just keep in mind with the HP restriction that if you go down below to like 10 health and then the next turn comes up and he is there, he does not have his 80% increase in his buff. So yeah, definitely keep that in mind right there. In terms of other hard hitters, though, that's about all I can really think of. Obviously, LR Gogeta is going to be a huge one on JP right now. He makes this event a cakewalk. And also with Super Int, the LR Vegito just makes that event a total cakewalk as well. So Global, if you want to wait around till then, those are going to be 2 right there. You can beat no problem, okay? Support units. Physical has them like no tomorrow. We've got this Pan right here, which is really good. A little bit on the HP restriction there, but again, just be a little careful. And she provides a nice 30% buff to everyone. This Gohan here, Global, I know you don't have him just yet, or maybe you do, but if you have this guy, oh, this guy is beautiful. Easily over the Pan. Easily. 35% attack and defense to everyone. Just put him on the back burner. That's all he got to do. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick example real quick. Before I was able to get my other 2 dupes and my physical Super Vegito, every hit they take for around 15k or so, okay? Sometimes, depending on it. Maybe around 10k if I was lucky enough. Throwing this guy on there made that go from 10k to 5k. I kid you not on that, okay? Go back and watch some of my earlier videos with using this guy on Super Battle Road. You will see the difference, okay? It absolutely makes a difference. Not to mention if you're starting to use items and everything, that makes it even lower, which is really nice. So again, this guy, huge staple on that team. Obviously, the Gohan here is really nice as well. I never got to pull him though, so SSJ2 Gohan is my best bet. This guy, I didn't even really realize it, but he does reduce the enemy attack if your HP is 80% or above. So it's a little bit of a risk there, but he does reduce the enemy attack by 20%, which is pretty nice. So again, keep that in mind right there. But again, he's got that weird HP restriction. So actually, I'm going to kind of put him down here. I kind of put him up in the support units area, but that's not really where he's supposed to go. Bardock, again, provides the attack up 20% and the +2 key. Not the best one, but again, if he's the only one you have, then go ahead and take him. It'd be nice if you gave a defensive boost, but, you know, beggars can't be choosers, I guess, okay? Obviously, the Gohan, and then this Trunks isn't too bad either, if it would actually show up. Trunks is not too bad here. He has attack and defense down, or attack up 25%, which is pretty nice. So, yeah, pretty nice right there. He's a good support unit. Obviously, he's on the lower end. Then it's the Pan. Then it's the SSJ2 Gohan. And then it's the Z-Sword Gohan. So, whoever you have, make sure you bring in at least one of those guys. It's pretty nice. Another good blocker here, if you want to be able to take him, is this Piccolo. He is a pretty old unit, but he does provide defense up for everyone by 70%. That's pretty nice right there. Him himself, I'm not sure how well he tanks. But if you have him on there and you have Super Physical Vegito on there or Vegito Blue, they're not gonna be taking much damage unless it's a super attack. So keep that in mind right there when it comes to doing that. And then obviously Kefla, JP only has this right now, but I'm assuming Global will probably get it. Maybe by the time Kefla is in Dragon Ball Super, I'm not really sure. You know, it's kind of hard to say. I mean, they do everything early on Global when it comes to some of that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if you guys see it within the next few months. But she does provide a defense boost when she absorbs orbs and everything like that, because it's all physical orbs that she needs to absorb. And then she will get a defensive boost. So if you collect enough right there, then she's able to take a decent hit. I personally don't have her, so I can't really take her, but again, she is pretty nice. And then last, I already said it beforehand, but if you happen to have the LR Gogeta or even the LR Kid Gohan, that's pretty nice right there. LR Kid Gohan, maybe not so much, but definitely the LR Gogeta is someone to keep in mind right there. So yeah. Anyway, guys, lots of information we just went over, but let me know that in the comments below. Was this helpful? I know, sorry if it was a little fast. Again, just 5 different types of teams to go over. And again, if you don't have all these units, that's okay. Play around with it. It takes no act or stamina to do this, depending on what version you're going off of. It takes no act in order to do this. So just go in, test them out. The only downside is that maybe with the friend system. So if you want to, take the free friend, test out these teams, and then if you really want to try a hand at it, bring the good friend and then go at it and try it out, okay? So just let me know down in the comments below, though, what you're going to be trying to attempt when it comes to building these teams and everything like that. Are you going to be able to take on all the super events? Are you going to be able to not take any of them on? Again, it's okay to wait if you need to. Just, you know, be careful when it goes to this, going through this. And again, it is endgame content. Always keep that in mind. So yeah. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. As always, leave a like if you liked the video. Subscribe if you happen to be new. Until next time, everyone, I'll see you all in the next one.